Manila, Philippines, July 2025. Torrential rains brought the Philippine capital Manila to a standstill on Tuesday, as heavy flooding displaced tens of thousands of people across the country. Monsoon downpours that began last week and intensified due to Typhoon Wildfire have killed at least 6 people, displaced over 82,000, and affected more than 1.2 million others. Government offices and schools are suspended until at least Wednesday, as the heavy rain submerged around 500 areas in the Philippine capital region alone. The flooding varies in depth, from gutter level to much deeper waters. Don Arts, chairman of Metro Manila Development Authority, said at a briefing on Tuesday. The severe floods in Manila were partly triggered by the city's old drainage system. Our drainage system is also outdated, more than 50 years old, and too small for today's rainfall volume, Arts said. Around 17,000 people remain in evacuation centers, as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered state agencies to focus on disaster relief operations. The OCD, Office of Civil Defense, is now on red alert. The most heavily affected areas are Metro Manila, as well as the provinces of Bulacan, Pampanga, Cavite, Batangas, and Rizal, OCD Assistant Secretary Rafi Alejandro said. Philippine authorities are bracing for more heavy rain, with the southwest monsoon expected to bring moderate to intense rains of up to 200 millimeters within the next few days, the Interior Ministry said in a statement, adding that preemptive evacuation has started in some areas. The National Weather Bureau, PAGASA, said it expects widespread incidents of severe flooding, with landslides until at least Wednesday in the Manila capital region, as well as the provinces of Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, and Batangas. The Philippines is one of the most vulnerable countries to extreme weather events, with an average of 20 tropical storms passing through the country every year. Flooding, especially during the southwest monsoon season, is getting frustrating and tiring, Ryan Reyes Soriano, a 47-year-old resident of Malabon City, told Arab News. Formerly, floods during the 80s up to the 90s were a cause for concern if they go up waist level. Now floods often go as high as a story if storms are bad, and that is a difference of 10 to 15 feet, 3 to 4.5 meters. Malabon, a coastal city located north of Manila, was one of the most severely affected areas in the capital region. Almost all of its 21 districts were submerged in floods, with some regions still inundated as of Tuesday afternoon. In some cases, it's deep enough for a person to drown. Lucky if it's only knee-deep, Soriano said. I went outside earlier. The water is still above my waist. Veteran urban planner June local media said solutions to the flooding currently experienced in Metro Manila were already studied and proposed in the 1970s. In an interview on Agenda, Billionario News Channel's primetime newscast, broadcast journalist Pinky Webb asked local media about the flooding in Metro Manila caused by Tropical Cyclone Crising and southwest monsoon. If I may share, mid-70s pa onto a Nayang Solution. After the big flood of I think 1973. So there was a project called Metro Plan Manila and Manila Bay Region Strategic Plan. Metro Plan Manila funded by the World Bank. I was the team leader and senior planner, project officer for the UNDP-funded Manila Bay Region Strategic Plan, he said. And I remember the conversation that time with the do-nothing scenario. We have catastrophic flooding, traffic, garbage problems, all the problems we have now. We said that when I was 25 years old. I'm already 75 years old. He said among the things that should be done is the dredging of Laguna Lake and the Parañaque Spillway.
As of 9:50.
After Ondoy, I was in Dubai, Tinawagan AKONI, journalist, Jarius Bondoc. Some people are blaming God for the floods. And I said it's not an act of God, but sins of omission and of men and women running our country, because the solutions are their Hindi pa natutupad, Palafox said. He explained that if 4,600 cubic meters per second bumagsak from the floodwaters from the denuded mountains and the capacity of Pasig River is only 600 cubic meters per second, San Pumunta Yung 4,000 cubic meters per second, it flooded 90,000 hectares of urban land in Metro Manila and around Laguna Lake in Marikina Valley. You know, 90,000 hectares of urban land, malaki pa sa Singapore. Singapore is only 73,000 hectares. Palatulit na sabi na natin yan, hindi lang flooding, pati earthquake, and so on. And all the president's nasulatan ko na pati si President Bongbong, he noted. Halifax also mentioned rapid urbanization as among the reasons for flooding and underscored the need to review the subdivision code and the building code. He added that the drainage system in Metro Manila is 75% undersized, silted pa. Kasi Young design criteria good for 25-year return of typhoons and floods. The 100-year typhoons now are happening every other year, so it's 75% undersized, he explained. Tapo's Young subdivision code Naden, even mountain communities saleable 70%, so Wala Halo's open space. After the devastation of Ondoy, Halifax said he proposed a 10-year program including the construction of a spillway in Parañaque. If there is an objection to the spillway because it is an open canal, we can do a smart tunnel. They did it in Kuala Lumpur. Like a tunnel connecting Laguna Lake and Manila Bay. I proposed that right after Ondoy, he narrated. We had a detailed conversation with President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo at that time, and she approved most of our 60 recommendations. The 60 is now 145 recommendations, he added. Halifax said Arroyo approved many of their recommendations, but they were discarded by the next administration. Like Young dredging of the Laguna Lake may contrata na with the Belgian contractors Canancel. In fact, the Philippine government was sued by the Belgians. They won the case against the Philippines, and former Executive Secretary Sonny Dominguez told me we paid more than P1 billion sa Manila hindi pa nati dredge Young Laguna Lake, he added. The Quezon City Council declared a state of calamity on Tuesday night, July 22nd, as torrential rains and severe flooding from the southwest monsoon, Habagat, and Tropical Depression Dante continue to batter the city. Quezon City Councilor Alfred Vargas announced in a Facebook post that the City Council had approved Resolution PR 23CC 054 in a special session on Tuesday, declaring the city under a state of calamity. The 2 p.m. session of the 23rd City Council was led by Quezon City Vice Mayor John Sato. Manila to declare. Meanwhile, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, in a live address around 6 p.m., said he ordered Vice Mayor Chi Atienza to lead an emergency session of the City Council on Wednesday, July 22nd, to formalize the state of calamity declaration. Antabayan ninyo ang sinulating kayo ang Consejo ng Manila through Vice Mayor Chi Atienza na bukas, wala silang sesyon. Ngunit sinabi kayo kung pwede mag-emergency session sila. Dahil ang kailangan na panatin ay deklara ang state of calamity sa lungsod ng Manila, he said. Wait for the letter I wrote to the Manila City Council through Vice Mayor Chi Atienza saying that by tomorrow, since they don't have a session, I asked if they could hold an emergency session because we now need to declare a state of calamity in the city of Manila. Both Moreno and Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte said the state of calamity declaration unlocks the city's quick response fund, allowing for a faster recovery from the floods. The Quick Response Fund, which is 30% of the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management (DRRM) fund, is typically used after disasters to address widespread damage. It is only disbursed during a state of calamity, where QC will use the fund. Belmonte told local media that Quezon City will use the funds for cleanup drives, materials to repair damaged infrastructure, and medicines for evacuees cramped in evacuation centers and with health conditions. The Quezon City government said that as of 1 p.m., 35,774 people, or 10,334 families, are currently taking shelter in the city's evacuation sites. Meanwhile, Moreno said that beginning July 24th, Manila's barangay officials and the city treasurer can tap into the Calamity Fund to support their community's immediate needs. As of 3 p.m., Moreno said around 3,035 individuals, or 876 families, had been evacuated to 22 evacuation centers, with more evacuees expected as the local government continues its operations. What entails a state of calamity? The declaration of a state of calamity is based on the recommendation of the local DRRMC and must be formalized through a resolution passed by the City Council, also known as the Sanggunian. After the declaration, local government units may request funds from the NDRRMC, which then prompts the DBM to issue the necessary release orders, if approved. Under the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, a state of calamity declaration also allows authorities to cap prices of essential goods and offer no-interest loans to affected sectors.